Hello, this is Grant. This is going to be episode 3 of Dead Rising 1's Master Run. So we're going to actually get to some actual gameplay here. The first couple episodes, there's just a ton of cutscenes, ton of loading screens. Not much happens as they introduce you to the plot of the game.
I hope they got away.
So, but at this point, we're basically in freely roam. I always thought of Otis as a very silent character because he never talks in cutscenes. I don't think he has a voice actor. But then when you're actually in game and he calls you on your radio, very talkative. I picture him as having the voice of Dr. Eli Vance from Half-Life. Maybe it's just the way he looks, but that's how I hear him in my head whenever he calls me on his radio.
And apparently those things aren't smart enough to use the ducks. So they won't be a factor.
Wait a minute. You want to get back in there? What for? Hey.
Frank seems to have like a complete change of heart. I don't know what he was expecting when he got here. But normally he's all about, oh, I gotta dive in, get the scoop. And then there he's like, you're gonna go back? What?
As a matter of fact, I am. Frank West, photojournalist.
Could you show me some pictures, Frank?
Frank's hair is amazing. I love Frank's whole like persona about Frank's almost an asshole. Just not quite, because he is just doing his job, but kind of an asshole.
I took that one near the entrance. That guy do something?
From the sound of it, he's pretty good at his job. He picks up on a lot of small cues.
Nope.
Just stuff like when she pauses on that picture, or how he uses that fact that she obviously recognized that photo to try and
Not done talking yet.
convince Brad later to give him information.
Just who are you guys?
It's really easy to forget about Frank because, like I said, I skip cutscenes all the time when I play anymore just because I know the game.
That's all.
It's kind of cool being able to sit back and just watch it without playing now. I can pick up a lot more details. Okay, and now we can actually get started. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and save again, just because I don't want to die. Don't have to go replay it all, everything. I picked up those snacks originally just to have some food. One of the hardest parts about being a low level is just the fact that you can't carry everything you need. When you're max level, it's very easy to have a couple books, melee weapons, a gun, food, and then just random stuff like skateboards and whatnot. But here, you have to really prioritize. I'm going to actually make for the hunting shack in this episode to get there before Cletus. And I think I try and fill up my entire inventory with guns just because I need them. I need as many as I can get. But I only have 4 or 5 slots. And the leveling is actually random, so I played it through it a couple times to test this, and sometimes I would get a skill first, sometimes I'd get the stock first, or life. Not quite sure how it works. Alright, first big tip is I'm going to actually reset my camera so that when I pull left trigger or aim, it goes to the way my personal camera is pointing, not the way that Frank is facing. Very disorienting, I think. So there's a PP sticker here, which I'm not going to make this a guide about PP stickers, but we need that particular photo because there's a survivor that will not go with you unless you show him that photo. So just to make sure we get it, I go ahead and grab it there. We're going to go ahead and save these two guys. Another thing, I always have good memories because I always save these guys. There's no reason not to. They're right here. Sometimes when I know I'm doing a run through just to test things, it's also a blast just to kill these guys, especially if I grab the shotgun because screw the survivors. Terrible AI. I think actually coming up here, there's a great example of them just not working together. So if you're trying to level up, a big tip is to always get survivors to join you. You get half the reward in PP when they join. So even if you kill them immediately after, or just don't bother about their safety, go ahead and just do it then. Get that. And we have a photo here. This is actually worth 10,000 PP, I think, if you time it right. But there's a couple of spots I'm going to point out because it helps a lot with leveling. That already is going to trump every single photo we took in that intro portion on the helicopter. So you have to talk to them, but once you're there, you can just run. I've never tried actually taking them down into the mall and seeing if they're helpful. I really want to test if you can just have an army of people and bring them all with you to the psychopath and just have them kill it for you. So we're going to wait up here. As soon as they get up on the ledge, then you know you're good to go in the security room. I think that's actually the purpose of the ledge. That being said, it would probably have been much better if it was a drop down instead of a step up, because the AI have a lot of trouble with it, especially if there's more than one person. Really, if they get stuck like that, I find the best way is just kind of jump into them. I'm going to set a waypoint up here so that they go up there and I can just mess with them if I need to. I think maybe he's a little angry at his wife, and that's why they're on different sides of the building. Alright, here we go. Then Natalie should follow up. Yep, and then you can go straight to the security room. I've heard that terrible sigh so many times. But alright, we leveled up twice just from that. We got some more stock. If you want to, there's a nice baseball bat here. That's a pretty good weapon, but there's better stuff in the warehouse. Soccer balls are really good too to knock down crowds if you don't have the, I guess, capacity to kill them. There's a door over here if you aren't aware that you don't actually need to use the elevator. You can't get the survivors to do it, but just Frank, this is much easier to get through because you don't actually have to fight any zombies on your way up or down. There's a sledgehammer you can grab. Mannequins are pretty good. Particularly the mannequin torso is an amazing melee weapon, if it wasn't for the fact that there's better stuff right next to it. If you feel you need it, you can use the propane tank to clear out the elevator. It also helps quite a bit. Unfortunately, we don't have the knee drop, which lets you avoid fall damage, so I have to go all the way around. You can get back up by going that way, by the way. I have all the achievements unlocked, but you'll see me have the little ticker at the bottom because it's based on your save file, so that they can do unlocks. So like I already have the zombie genocide achievement, so theoretically I've earned the Megabuster, but since it's not on this profile, I don't have it until I earn that achievement again. I think this is some false advertising. You can never use a fire extinguisher as a weapon in the main game.
You. Look, don't sneak up on me.
Brad was attacked. I located him on the monitor. Ugh!
It's probably just a sprain.
I've gotta help Brad, or he's done for.
All right, fine. Give me your gun. Come on. I'm the reason you just got.
They're pretty nonchalant about guns in this game.
No, I can't let a civilian do that. That's against.
Like, I get the point, but because they want to give you a gun.
They had zombie-infested malls in mind when they
But just giving away your only weapon is pretty crazy.
You know how to use this?
Kinda. I've covered wars, you know.
Another great line. I don't know how many times he says it. This might be the only time he says that line. But whenever I hear people quoting Dead Rising with Frank, it's, I've covered wars, you know. Like, I think there's an Easter egg in Left 4 Dead 2. Or maybe it might be 1 in the DLC, where there's a little line about someone complaining about how come the zombies are fast. And they have a comment about him. I think it's signed Frank West, but there's also a comment about covering wars. Or there's a point they announced the DLC standalone thing for Dead Rising 2 that has Frank. And they just said that, oh, the new protagonist, she's covered wars, you know. So I'm going to be kind of cheeky here. I have a preferred set of clothes. I love the idea of, like, you can do this dress up in this game. Completely unnecessary, but fun. Highly recommend playing around with it if you ever get the chance to spend some time. There's a PP sticker there. I don't think I'd take a photo. But you can get 10,000 PP if you realign this head. The best way to do it is to line it up as close as you can with a weapon, and then you can actually spit. If you drop whatever you're holding by pressing down, you can use the right trigger, I believe, and just spit at it. That spit doesn't do any damage to actual, like, zombies, unless you drink the Spitfire juice. Not really that useful, but a little bit of a small thing. I think a lot of people don't know that, because you never are holding absolutely nothing and try to spit. You can take some crazy photos with it, though, just spitting on stuff and making things look a little odd. I'm going to pick up the skateboard. We're really slow right now at this level, So the skateboard's a very welcome addition, considering we're going to want to get to places fast to get everything done. If you ride the skateboard off ledges, you also will not take fall damage. So until we have the knee drop, there's a couple instances like the warehouse where I can just do that. But we need to get to the hunting shack before 3 p.m. because then we can have our pick of the guns there, which makes the beginning portion of the game much easier. There's also a couple hidden SMGs you can get around, but I prefer to get the sniper rifles. Sniper rifles are amazing weapons for Frank, especially for psychopaths. And the shotguns, I don't particularly care for them for Frank, but they are really good to give to your survivors because they will not use up the ammo. And just, they kill zombies they don't even mean to. It's great. So I'm going to ignore that call. The first time you enter any area, Otis will call and tell you about it. He just wants to tell me, oh, you're in the North Plaza. There's construction. So we're just going to go back here. I think I used my shotgun up a little bit just because I know I'm going to get more weapons than I can handle. Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was an actual call or not. I answer it. Nothing too crazy. A lot of people think the hardest achievement in the game is 7-Day Survivor or Zombie Genocider. It's actually the transmissionary achievement where you have to get all the calls from Otis. Really annoying to do. There's so many small calls you have to be in the right place at the right time. Or more specifically, not be in the certain place at a certain time. It's crazy. And you have to make sure you're not getting attacked by zombies during that time. Because one missed call ruins the whole thing. So one thing I hadn't thought of when I was planning this out was the fact that I actually have no way to kill zombies without weapons because I have no skills. Until we get the jump kick, really, it's just whatever we're holding. In this case, I don't want to waste my weapons, so I just kind of avoid the zombies awkwardly. It's not ideal, but depending on how lucky you get with the skill level ups, it can be something you need to make do with. Try to be calculated about the way I use the shotguns. Technically, I have way more than I'm going to need, but there's a couple times I'll fire blast just to get through. I'm going to go ahead and save here. Just in case something comes up. Either I have to go, or worst case, I die. Man, I believe his name is Kent. I hate that guy. Annoying character. Annoying deadlines that are a pain to meet in this game. Cool idea. And I think it serves as, not only is he a psychopath if you follow his story all the way through, he also is going to give you an intro to how to take better photos. I think photos are just way underutilized in this game. But it gives it kind of this implicit silliness that's actually kind of awesome in my opinion. So, the game always spawns zombies up there, and then as soon as you get close, they immediately fall off. I just love how silly that is. There's something so satisfying about getting a skateboard on this little moving sidewalk. Just all that speed, efficiency, and then I ruin it by running into a wall. So our goal is to make for the food court so we can go back up Brad. I run into an interesting situation here, like I talked before, is that other than the guns, I have no way to break this. Normally I would just jump up and kick, and it ends up making it almost worthless. But there's a little bit of a hidden orange juice back here. Fun tip. I don't think it's a very common thing to know that, because there's no other reason to go back into these little display cases. So I'm trying not to kill zombies and waste my ammunition, but it can be pretty difficult when you're level 1. Or level 3 now. You level up pretty fast if you save everyone. That's basically what makes this a feasible strategy. There we go. I feel like I had zombie walk pretty soon. It's something you don't realize you want it until you need it. There we go. That was an amazing shotgun blast, luckily. There is a hidden SMG on that red house to my right, but the only way to get it is you need to get on the ride and jump off, which unfortunately you can't do until after you kill Adam.